Everything began on a Friday evening. I had just wrapped up my shift at the construction site, my muscles sore, my boots coated in dirt when I stepped through the front door and saw Emily sitting at the kitchen table with a smirk that twisted my stomach. The smell of reheated dinner lingered in the air, but I hardly noticed it. One look at her eyes told me this wasn't going to be a normal conversation. I set down my tool bag, wiped my hands on my jeans, and said, "Hey," trying to sound relaxed. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she stared at me, her fingertips lightly drumming on the table's edge. Then she leaned back, folded her arms, and said the words that stopped me cold. "I'm pregnant," she said, "and it's your brother's." For a second, my brain refused to register it. My thoughts spun shock, confusion, and a strange sense of detachment, all crashing together. I blinked a few times, and then, almost on instinct, I laughed. Not awkwardly, not sarcastically, just a deep, disbelieving laugh that filled the room. Her eyes narrowed. "Why are you laughing? Don't you wait?" I cut her off, raising a hand. "Oh, you don't know yet." Her smirk faltered, doubt slipping in. "What are you talking about?" I leaned against the counter, crossed my arms, and let the silence stretch just long enough to unsettle her. I mean, I said slowly, that this story isn't as straightforward as you think. There's a lot you're not aware of. She glanced down at her hands, fidgeting. "I don't understand what you're saying." I sighed and shook my head. "You think you've got me trapped, Emily, but let me tell you something I already knew about the messages. The little errands, the late nights at the office. I noticed the way you looked at him when you thought I wasn't watching, and now you drop this on me, expecting some dramatic reaction." She blinked rapidly, trying to read my face. "I just thought you should know," she said softly, sounding almost fragile. I laughed again, quieter this time, intentional. "Know what? That you've been lying? Sneaking around, hiding things you shouldn't. I'm already aware. And the part you keep missing." I paused, letting the moment sink in. "Is that you've always underestimated me?" Her mouth parted slightly, disbelief written across her face. The absurdity of the moment felt like a movie scene. I watched her confidence crumble, fear slipping into the cracks. I stepped closer, letting my presence fill the space, and said quietly, "You really thought you could throw this at me, and I'd fall apart? You thought this would break me?" I shook my head. "No, Emily, you should have known better. I'm not that easy to blindside." Her eyes widened. For the first time, I saw real panic in them. She tried to speak, but I lifted a finger to silence her. Save it. I don't want excuses. I don't want your sad explanation. What I needed was honesty, and you're far too late for that." Her hands trembled as she clasped them together. I just didn't know how to tell you," she whispered. "I thought maybe you'd understand." I gave a soft, humorless laugh. "Understand? Emily, there's nothing to understand. You've been playing a game, and now you're shocked that I'm not playing along. You thought I wouldn't notice the signs, the texts, the excuses, the lies, but I saw everything." She swallowed hard, her voice tightening. "Please, I just wanted to tell you before things went too far." I leaned against the counter, studying her the same way I had for 8 years. Trying to find even a trace of the woman I once believed she was, but the Emily sitting here now was someone else, calculating, impulsive, bold. And yet, beneath all that, a flicker of vulnerability trembled in her eyes. "You think telling me now fixes anything?" I asked quietly. "You think this confession erases months, maybe years of deceit?" She shook her head, barely moving. "I didn't mean for it to end up like this." A cold smile touched my lips. "You never do you? There's always a story, always an excuse, always someone else's fault. And now your brother, that's your grand finale." Her lips quivered, but she stayed silent. She knew she'd crossed a line she couldn't step back from. I walked around the counter and stood directly in front of her, towering over her but keeping my voice steady. You thought this would crush me, that I'd feel destroyed or desperate. But look at mime, standing right here. Present, listening. The tension suffocated the room. I could hear the hum of the fridge, distant traffic outside, but everything else disappeared. This moment belonged to us, her confession, and my awareness of every lie behind it. I lowered my voice deliberately. "I'm not angry the way you expect. I'm not yelling or breaking down. I'm just disappointed because I trusted you. I believed in you. And what did I get in return? A joke? A betrayal? A twisted punchline meant to humiliate me." Asterisk, she flinched. Even her usual hardened exterior cracked under the weight of it. Asterisk, I didn't know you'd react like this, she stammered. I let out a quiet, hollow laugh. React like this, Emily, this is nothing. Wait until you realize that your little reveal is only the beginning. Something much bigger is coming, and you won't be able to steer it. Asterisk, her face drained of color. She gripped the edge of the table like it was the only thing keeping her upright. I let the panic settle it, her feel the heaviness of her choices. Asterisk, do you understand what you've done? I asked softly, my voice cold but steady. You didn't just cheat. You didn't just lie. You tried to twist a family bond into a weapon, hoping it would tear me apart. And for what? A thrill, attention, revenge. She struggled to speak. I thought maybe you'd forgive me. I thought. I cut her off with a shake of my head. Forgive you? Emily, you crossed a line that never disappears. You misjudged how clearly I see people, how well I read the truth. And now it's too late for anything except consequences. Her voice trembled. Consequences. Asterisk, yes, I said, stepping closer, letting the word hit like cold steel. Consequences for every lie, every secret, every moment you assumed I wouldn't notice. You wanted me broken. You wanted me begging. You wanted me powerless. I shook my head. But I'm not that man anymore. I see everything for what it is now. I took a long breath, letting the silence grow heavy around us. You set your own trap. And you're the one stuck in it. Asterisk, her hands dropped to her sides. Fear washed over her raw, exposed, undeniable. The smirk, the arrogance, the careless attitude. All gone. For the first time in years, she looked small. Asterisk, I don't know what to do, she whispered. I gave a faint, cold smile. Here's what you do: you face what you caused. You own every lie, every betrayal, and you accept that nothing you say now can undo the damage. Not today, not ever. Asterisk, she looked down, shaking, and I felt a strange mix of pity and grim recognition. Years of trust, love, and shared life had collapsed in seconds, leaving only debris behind. Asterisk, I turned away and walked toward the living room, letting the weight of everything linger in the air. I sank into the armchair, grabbed the remote, and didn't look back. I didn't have to. Asterisk, Emily knew exactly what had just happened, and more importantly, she knew I had already won, not through anger or revenge, but through clarity. Asterisk, because the truth, no matter how brutal or humiliating, always wins. She'd dropped what she thought was the ultimate bomb, but instead of breaking me, I laughed, because the power was never hers and it never would be. In the quiet stillness of the house, I finally exhaled. All the chaos she tried to unleash dissolved beneath the reality she refused to see. I was the one in control, and from that moment on, her revelation wasn't a weapon, it was proof of just how untouchable I had become.